Okay, I'm going to do a playthrough for Chico Canyon. Now I just started this and then did it off the wrong tees, so we're going to go from blue. This is by Dan Kovac, Decov 1944. 1494? Yeah, 1494. So it's a designer whose work I'm not familiar with at all, which is great. That's really what I've loved about this contest. We're now into round 2, which signifies that a lot of the stuff has been done really well. And straight from the opening tee shot you can see that. Planting's nice and natural, the bunkers look really interesting and well done. The shapes are nice, like the ragged style works really well. So yeah, I'm going to give this a playthrough. You're going to get all of my thoughts, the good and kind of the things that maybe I'd like to see done a little bit differently, as well as hopefully justifications as to why that would be the case. Some of that you'll agree with, hopefully. Some that you'll likely disagree with, that's all fine as well. When that's the case, if there's stuff you disagree with, just try to understand where I'm coming from and see it from that point of view. But at the end of the day, it's your course. There's going to be stuff that me playing it once maybe I won't get, or what have you. Now, this will be the first of 2 rounds I do for each course. So you get initial thoughts. Initial thoughts are, I love the planting here, I love the wide open spaces. It's a good first tee shot. It's a tough first hole. There's no way to cut that corner, but I guess if we were pushed off front tees, maybe. I think the sculpting here in the bunker is a bit... It could be done a little bit neater, as in just flowing into the bunker a bit smoother. You can't... I'd have probably raised up this bit, but I can see why you haven't in order to make the bunker visible, so that's a minor point. I think we're going to see that again and again. Yeah, the sculpting where these hills are just really kind of housing the bunkers. The bunker itself is sculpted pretty well. It gets a bit messy up this end. I think you've just missed a spot of bunker there, to be honest. But yeah, let's give it a go. Kind of a straightforward first hole, which is just a drive to get you underway and then hit to the green. Big slope to help us. We've got the right pin for this. I think this red slope is a little big. I'd have probably dropped the back tier down by about half a foot. I think when you're getting red slopes over about 2 or 3 boxes most, this one's now going about 5, then we've gone a bit big. That slow might help me. Go on, just a little. But yeah, I really like the environment. I also thought, I didn't mention it, but I'm a big fan of these 2 bunkers. I think they sit nicely. They're not in play, but they add to the visuals and mean that you don't have to do a ton of planting. Oh, I did not check the green speeds. Seems to have gone okay. Par is fine. 178 is a good green speed. I like the lighting a lot as well. I know this kind of lighting is very much... Oh, I didn't mean to skip the flyover. This kind of lighting is very much in vogue at the moment for TGC, but it works really nicely on this course. Okay, so where are we hitting to? I think I've got 2 little questions here regarding where you've laid fairway and green. If you're going to cut in this much, then I think there's got to be a reason why. Because I don't see why we wouldn't just put fairway round here and give people a bit more room to play with. The justification would just be bring the planting a bit more in here, and then this fairway shape makes sense. Same is true up at the green. I'm all for interesting green shapes, but there's kind of got to be a reason why we didn't put this bit as green. So either there's a giant slope, which there isn't, or I don't know. I think there needs to be a justification for it. I think the same comment regarding the red slope here. It's a little severe. Now that said, down... well, we just go down to a 2-wood. But I do like this sort of approach where I've got a pitch down a hill, and either I can try to fly it all the way, or I can try and just roll it down the hill a little bit. I think I'm going to do a bit of both. If it goes a little long, then we're hopefully fine. If it lands short, we're probably still fine. So it should hit the slope and hopefully grab a touch. But that's a really nice subtle way of doing. I think your pin position there is perfect, because it would have been all too easy to tuck it right at the bottom of this slope, something I might have been tempted to do personally. But I think it works so much better with that space, so that I've got the choice of how I go about getting it to this point or closer. Something there, I think. Oh, keep turning. Oh, I've pushed it. I like these little ravines. They do work really nicely, and the browned out delta look you've gone with. Planting's really good. Like, these little grasses are great. You've done them really nicely, and mix them in. Okay, so that's why this bunker came in. It's tough to do a bunker straddling 2 holes. Really is. You've done about as well as you can do. The setting for this hole is really nice. It's simple, but it's done really well. Can certainly see why this has made it through first round. Is it semi-finals now, I think, no less? Or is it finals? I never know. Anyway, we're in round 2, so well done. Yeah, I saw this from the tee. I don't love that the green kind of is like around a mound from here. I think either I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of greens that just randomly run away towards the middle. Because, well, let's have a little look at this green. Yeah, you've possibly had judges talking about, if you've had a playthrough already, you might have heard about puddles or water or drainage running off of greens. I tend to talk about this in quite a few videos because I think it's one of the things that made my greens better the quickest. You want to eventually see, if you follow a bead along, you want to eventually see it running along off the green somewhere. Because what it means if it doesn't is we're kind of bowling into about here. Now, in real life, yes, you can have little bowls on greens and it can all be acceptable. But I think as a general rule, you really want the beads flowing off the green somewhere. So in this case, if we're going back this way, can we also be funneling off here? Or if we're coming down here, are we also going to funnel off this way? What I don't think there is with this green is there's not really a consistent slope. It's kind of falling into here, and therefore my putts, as you can see, is always going to be from somewhere around about here. Now, which kind of leads me on to why I'd try to change that. If you try to make it so that your green slopes eventually flow off the green, you can end up with far more varied putts. And just generally better greens. That enough? Oh, I thought I had it. God, I'm hitting way outside the cone with my putts. Still, level par 3-3 is not dreadful. And the difficulty's good so far. We've got another long par 4. The first was quite long. Oh my goodness, this looks miles. I know it isn't, but it looks it. Okay. I think I'd have liked to have seen a bit more of the fairway on this hole. Because if you're standing here, you wouldn't guess where the flag is. I don't think you're really sure where you're hitting. But I'm unsure whether I'd lose this bit or this bit. Either or, I think, would help you see where the hole is going. And I mean, obviously we have scout cam, so it doesn't matter, but I think you'll notice a visually much better look if you can just see fairway that way. And I think I'd probably lose the middle hazard. Or, I think you could make an argument for either or. But if you can see where the fairway's going, then it almost builds a bit of a picture into your head about where the hole is and how it's going to play and how you want to attack it. Well, that's an awful swing. Light rough? Hopefully light rough. Heavy rough, damn. That's a hell of an approach into a par 4. I mean, I've missed the fairway, so it's kind of on me. Let's just try to... Let's try to lay up. Gone too far. I feel like this hole might be a touch too long for CC, but then again I think it's probably these winds or the green complex. If you're going to have a 500 yard par 4 on CC, which is aiming for less accomplished players like myself, if you're going to go 500 yards I think you've got to make the green really accommodating. Or if you miss, let's make sure there's a really easy layup. I'd have definitely joined these two bits of fairway, because that actually did make the layup a little harder, because I was trying to work out what would land there and not run through, and obviously I've got the calculation a little bit off, but that would have helped. Chucking a bunker directly in front makes it tougher, the big slope makes it tougher. I think you could have eased up on difficulty somewhere in this hole, and it would play better for the level we're aiming at. It's not a bad hole, I just think the green complex you've got is more suited to a hole that's about 40 yards shorter. Hey, we've made a par. And I'm all for the odd difficult hole, so I don't know, we'll come back to that at the end of the 9 and work out whether that fitted, or is that the most difficult hole on the 9? If so, then probably fine. At least we've got the wind with us for this hole, but only 7 miles an hour. Damn you, game. Yeah, I think I'm kind of coming back to the same thing, that a lot of the green slopes are just a touch too big, and that's something you get with practice. I like that I was given options off that tee. With this wind, I think I'd be foolish not to go for, let's just have a flop shot in. And hopefully end up pretty close, because I've not been making birdies on this course yet. But I think I'd have liked to have seen you give me a bit more fairway out here, because I don't think anyone's ever playing anywhere right of here, because actually that's your most accommodating fairway distance wise and width wise compared to here, 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 here. A good general rule I find is the further back you choose to lay up, the more accommodating the fairway should be. So I'd probably be pinching this area, particularly given it's giving us a dead down the throat pitch shot, whilst allowing a bit more further right where you've got a longer shot in, less beneficial angle. Another short par 3. Again, a really nice setting. I like that you've just let the land breathe, and you haven't felt like you need to crowd the playable surfaces. Just go full lob wedge. That's going to be short. Oh no, we did okay. Yeah, planting behind, that's really good. I'm just going to check the scorecard for distances very quickly. 152, 134, 201, 201. Okay, I think we could have rotated this par 3 distance-wise with one of the ones on the back, because those two are probably going to play pretty similar, just to vary it, and that would really help, because these two have felt... I adore a short par 3, but it feels like we've hit the same club pretty much into both par 3s. I think I had a pitching wedge on 3 and then a gap wedge on 6. So they play pretty similar, whereas if we can space those out, I get that you don't have the same bit of land to work with, but it's worth thinking about. For me, fairways are getting a bit S-bendy, and I get that those kind of provide us with options, but the reason I don't love the S-bend shape so much is it becomes a little bit can you or can't you. It's not really it's not so much a choice as it's decided for me. If I can, I will. Rather than, let's say we just, I'm going to bring up the overhead. Let's say we angle the green going this way. So as in the back of the green's up here, the front of the green's down here, and we bunker in here. Well, that's going to make me really want to come in from the right hand side. So if we then angle the fairway, so we lose this lobe, and we can angle the fairway all the way up here and then come in this way and all the way down here, well then I'm going to want to be hitting as far right as possible. Maybe now we put a bunker in there so that I'm trying to carry the bunker, but if not I'm still hugging it as close as possible. Whereas with how it is now, it's either, well, I can hit to here and then I get a great angle, but I'm not laying up because I don't get any better angle, so I'm hitting here. It's not so much a choice as it is kind of a bit predetermined. I'm going to give it a go. Mainly because I don't think the alternative is any good. Yeah, I think that's for me, you can do some good with the S-bend fairways, but more often than not it tends to lead you into the options are so stark. There's always a right one or a wrong one. I'm not saying my play in any way justified that. I think this hole could have benefited a little bit more from a tee shot that offered us more options, because we can hit it down here or we can try to hit it over here, but to that pin didn't really make... I should have played down here. I really just wanted to find out if it was carryable. Yeah, I hope that makes sense, at least. I do like, again, it fits, it works well as a golf hole. Just think that would be how I'd tweak it. This planting area, this stuff with the planting that you've done just in front of the tees has been really good. Kind of got a bit of the same thing with the tee shot here, in that these bunkers are, as far as I can tell, just decorative. No one's going to be missing the fairway that far wide. I do like that you've given me a bit of mounding on the fairway to make me think, so we're going to run off if we're not looking at it. But it's really just, I think, hit the fairway and hit the green. There's not... I'd like a little bit more thought as a golfer. I'd like to be thinking a bit more about where I want to put my drive, where I want to be attacking a green from. And that fast might not be good. Yeah, it's not too bad. Pathway to the next green is really nice. I mean, just all of the planting's really cool. Giving me little bits of sandbelt vibes, which is very much a good thing. Yeah, always low. Yeah, I think my main comment through the 9 holes is tee shot strategy. It would be nice to have my tee shot challenged a little bit more. I love that we're getting back to this green and we can see the first green again off the tee. I've seen that on a couple of courses and it's just a really good way of creating immersion. And this is just a great look. I'd say this is the best look off the tee you've had. Now, this one, much better with the tee shot challenge, because if I go too far this way I'm potentially running through. I don't really feel like there's a preferred way to attack the green. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm not the biggest stickler for this, but transitions aren't great really. In terms of lining this up, you'd want that line meeting the green neatly and then meeting the green here. If you imagine someone mowing fairway, you're trying to think how would they'd mow right to the edge of the green. They wouldn't kind of go in at not a 90-degree angle, but there's a really good tutorial from, I think it's from on the Crazy Canuck YouTube channel, but it's really a tip from Mayday, who might have also judged your course, I'm not sure. If so, he's probably mentioned it. It's to do with sticking some measure tool points down, but that will really help. I didn't mind going long at this pin, because we can hopefully... Oh, it's a pitiful chip. Just didn't want to go long. Yeah, pitch and putt for a nice easy birdie. Okay. Yeah, these bunkers, you can tell from the tee, they're not just the way they're sitting. It's going up a lot of land very quickly. In reality, these two, I mean, it's tough to do stacked bunkers anyway. I think there's no way to save these two. I think you're just going to have to start again. Just they're a bit over flattened in the middle, and the real cause of this is the land that you're going up is so steep in such a short amount of time. So really, you want to be raising the whole of this land by about 5-10 feet, and then trying to do them, and then you'll lead to eventually having less of an issue with this. Again, that's something you'll get with practice, but it's hard. It's tough to do. Where are we going? Down 19 feet. See, this is good hazard placement. I like this because of where the fairway's drawn. I'm worried about running out fairway here. I do still want to hit driver, but it definitely comes with some inherent risk, which we've found. Damn. Okay, and up 32 feet. Well, this is not a nice shot. I think this is the club. No, it's not. Pitching wedge. Oh, it definitely wasn't. Starting to get a little bit of lag, but I think that is just my computer. Certainly wouldn't be worried about the course. Just in case you're noticing it and you're wondering whether it's your course. Hey, there we go. Amazing what happens when you hit a putt inside the cone. Love this planting. I'd have liked to have seen a bit more maybe over here. I think the areas you've planted in that sort of wasty style have been great. Yeah, same critiques really here. I'd like a little bit more challenge off the tee so that I'm not just hitting driver dead straight. Just make me think with... admittedly I've got a pitch in, so maybe I could have laid back a bit more. I don't know. I don't feel that was the strategy. Oh, there's a bad shot. Having said that, I've completely short-sided myself in a bad position. Yeah. I'm just trying to think what I'd have done. I don't know. Probably move that bunker forward a bit, because I think with Master Clubs you're just going over it. Maybe it comes into play a bit more with wind, but even then, it's not. Yeah, it's tricky. I think you will figure it out in terms of hazard placement. So 200-yard par 3. Again, this planting, I particularly like this grass you've used. I think that adds a real different colour to it. So long par 3, smallish tier. Everything falls away from it. Okay. Let's try and draw it back into the wind a little. Nope. Oh well, short is okay on that one, I think. I just didn't want to be too far right. Do I want to chip out of this? Don't know. Let's give it a go. Stay. Tough green. I can see why this is stroke index 1. Oh, it would be far from... Please turn. Yeah, it'd be far from the hardest par 3 we've played on CC, but it's definitely a stroke index 1 sort of hole. But I like that you've made the green bigger to accommodate that, even if you've kind of sectioned it off a bit more. So this one I think works better with the hazard placement. You can see already in that if we want to hit the fairway, we're maybe hitting a bit of a draw to get around it and not hit that bunker. Yeah, which I like. Oh. That's on me. Didn't look at the camber of the fairway. That's a big old false front. Yeah. I know I've said this before. I generally feel the yellow and... Oh, we've flown it. The yellow and red slopes on the greens are just a bit too big for me. But again, something you'll gauge with practice. And sit. Thank you. God, I'm just not really hitting approach shots. That's a great view. I love that we can... I love the way you've done the routing and that we can see a few holes that are coming up. Yeah, bunker sculpting again here isn't... I think in parts it's been really good. Where... I feel like where it's worked has been where you've got the land in a decent position for a bunker already. Whereas when the land is a little bit trickier to work with, that's where we're struggling a little more. So I'd suggest really just working the land more before you put the bunker down. I mean, small green, but it's a par 5, so I don't mind. I don't think you need this bunker at all. I know why you've put it there to stop having anything near the tee boxes. I'd have probably just put some trees in. I think it would work better. There's no way I'm getting this close. That's probably about as good as I could have hoped for. Why am I playing it over there? Oh, much better. At least I changed the direction. Okay, so I guess this does play differently because it's downhill. And I like that you varied the pins so that on pin 2, on whatever hole it was, 13, 12, 12 I think. one of them's a back pin, and then on the similar length par 3 one of them's a front pin. That works nicely. Oh, come on. Oh, this isn't a fun part. Literally all it needed. Little glimpses of other holes are great. I love that you've done that. Oh, it's a bad putt. Oh, we're really trying to throw strokes back to the course. Alright, shorter par 4. Ah, we've brought that little ravine back in. I was wondering when that was coming in. So that's been nice. It's broken it up pretty well. Again, I do feel the hazards just aren't in play. I mean, not that it's meant that I've scored particularly well, but or indeed hit the fairways. This is why I shouldn't do 2 playthroughs back to back. And a very fast. Excellent. Come on, please hit a big slope. Hey. Somewhere out there. Well, that's one way to make a bogey with birdie, even with 2 really bad shots. Yeah, this bunker again, you can tell just by how it's sitting that the sculpting isn't quite right. And you see the mounding behind it, and it's, yeah, I think it's something you'll get with time. And bunkers tend to be the thing that cause people the most pain and anguish for the first few courses we design, and then after that you start getting them. I don't think this one's far off, but you can see how it's kind of, you've raised the right bits up, but you need to raise the other bits of land as well. So like, although you've raised this bit up, also raise the land just behind it, and behind that, and behind there, and just merge the bunker in with the rest of the land, and it will make a lot more sense and just start looking better. Again, kind of with the S-bend fairway, like, I don't really, because of how much, it's basically, do I carry this bunker or don't I? And because I can, I did. Rather than if we'd just angled the fairway from here to here as more of a straight line, then it becomes, well, how far right do I want to go? How far left do I want to go? Then maybe we bring that hazard in a bit more. But because you're going, well, you can hit to here, or you can hit here and go straight up the fairway. As soon as I can clear that hazard, it's kind of green light. I hope that makes sense. It's really hard for me to explain that bit. Are we uphill? We're uphill a little bit. Kind of the shot I wanted. That's not too bad. Haven't ever got the hang of these greens. It would be really nice to get them now. No, that's... oh no, that's good. Maybe we are getting the hang of them. And 18. Right, wow me with 18. Let's have a really strong closing hole. Oh, if it's going where I think it is, I really like it. Because we haven't had a lot of big swooping doglegs around the trees. Yeah, this is a good finisher. Oh yeah, I'm all in on this. That's a really nice way to finish. Now I think the same things are kind of true. That bunker could sit better, so could this one. But I love the idea of this hole. And I love the way it feels really natural. Because this ravine is there, but it's not... you've not forced it in. Now, and actually driver here is a risk because of where you've cut the fairway. I think when you've done it a bit more like this, with those sort of straighter holes, and you've just done a subtle, smooth sweep around, what am I talking about? there's a little bit of a subtle bank around the hazard, but we're not going all the way around here and then all the way up here. This sort of strategy works really well. I'm a big fan of this hole. Oh, please get over. And stop. Yeah, that was always a risk. That's just a bad shot. And now I've got nothing. Not sure. Let's try and bounce it on. Oh, I'm so glad you've let that work. That's made me very happy. I was about to say if it didn't work out, I was like, that would have been a really cool way of doing it. But I love that you've given me that little roll on as a way of kind of creatively getting yourself out of trouble. Can we finish with the birdie? No, we've pushed the putt. Yeah, we could. Lovely. So as with the previous one I've just done, I finished with a little bit more of a flourish than we started. Okay, I'm going to pull up the judging rubric a bit more and talk you through. So, playability and shot values. I think playability is kind of all-encompassing everything gameplay. For me, as I point out on a couple of occasions, I think the main thing is that often the tee shots were either there was an option that was very not obvious would be the wrong word, but it was either this or this. Whereas when your holes worked best, like 18, it was kind of a how much of that hazard do I want to challenge, and where you'd cut the fairway wasn't so much black or white. I felt the straight-on holes worked way better than the S-bend fairway ones. That's something I'd like to see move into a bit more going forward. When the bunkers were in play, they were really good. There was often quite a lot of the time I felt they were just a bit too far removed from playable surfaces to really make me think off the tee. Approaching into greens was good. I thought the slopes you'd used were really nice. I'd like them tempered a little bit, but the way you put them out were really thoughtful. I'm particularly thinking about the second hole. I loved that run down to the back. That back pin was really cool. And there were others where I was able to use different slopes or try to use them as backstops. I think that worked really nicely. And 18 as well, with how we were just able to funnel in, was great. That's going to be a shot that gives me a smile on my face for the rest of the day. Technical execution, I think your main thing is bunkers, and that's just practice. Watch tutorials, watch guys streaming on Twitch, ask questions. There's a couple of different methods for doing it. There are times when yours were really good. I think it was clear the ones that didn't work were where the land didn't quite suit them immediately, so maybe try building the land up a bit first before you put the bunker in. Either putting a mound in or smoothing the land out. So I'm trying to think of which hole it was. I can't remember. There was that par 4 with the 2 stacked bunkers. I want to say maybe 11 or 13. Can't remember. I think I made a par on it. Aesthetics and environment, really strong. I loved the look, I loved the vibe, I loved the kind of barren, wasty planting. I thought was really good. Lighting was great. Texture choices were really good. I don't think I've got anything to nitpick on that. The aesthetics and environment, I thought it was really nice. Maybe that one central, not bunker, but waste sort of area on, I think, hole 4. Didn't quite fit as much as it could have done, but I'm nitpicking. Routing, flow, cohesion, variety of holes. I'm going to look at distances. I mentioned about the par 3s. I definitely would have flipped one of those. Par 5s were all good distances, I felt. I like the... I've only just noticed we only had 2 par 5s. Didn't really spot that. Which shows that it worked well. Par 70 is good. The distance worked, and also the par 4s generally felt varied enough. So, yeah, I think your par 70 worked really nicely, and it was a shorter course that didn't feel too short because of that par. Variety of holes, I think that will be helped when you bring the hazards more into play. They'll start feeling a little bit different. But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I really look forward to seeing more from you in the future. best of luck with the contest, and yeah, do, as I said at the start, do reach out if you've got any further questions or just want to run things by us in the future. The joy of this contest is really seeing newer designers coming through, guys we haven't heard of, and kind of helping them with first steps in the way that others helped us, or like second steps or whatever it might be. So do please keep reaching out and asking us to play betas or whatever afterwards. It's just great to see, and also this doing so well. Like making the second round is a great achievement, and hopefully you can go further. Anyway, good luck to you, and yeah, catch you later.